Someone I admire from the women's suffrage movement is Alice Paul. For years, she organized parades, hunger strikes, and pickets in DC until she was imprisoned and force-fed. I feel a connection to her in my own life because there was a time when a relative saw me as a girl who wasn't entitled to a political opinion. I had to show them that I'm a woman who can contribute to society. Like the activists were successful, eventually my relative learned to respect me more.
Someone that I admire from the women's suffrage movement is w.e.b. Du Bois. He criticized the exclusion of Black women from the mainstream suffragist movement. He also founded the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People to eliminate race-based discrimination. Black women were not allowed to be included in marches and were often not invited to conventions. I feel a connection to this person in my own life because without brave people like him, myself and other women of color would never have been given the rights and freedoms that we have today.
Someone I admire from the women's suffrage movement was Sojourner Truth. She escaped slavery in 1826. Her last owner, John Dumont, tracked her down and illegally sold her son. Truth sued Dumont and won, becoming the first Black woman to sue a white man and win. I feel a connection to this person in my own life because I want to dedicate my life to advocating against injustices in my community and fighting for equal opportunities for all.
Someone I admire from the women's suffrage movement is Cady Stanton. She was one of the first leaders of the women's rights movement. After high school, Elizabeth experienced sexual discrimination. She watched how many of her men classmates were accepted into the major universities. I feel a connection to her in my own life because when I was in middle school, my professor used to pick one of his students to be his assistant. However, he did not choose me because I'm a girl.
Someone I admire from the suffrage movement is activist w.e.b. She was born into slavery and is well known for her anti-lynching campaign. I feel a deep connection to her because of her intersectional perspective that she brought to the movement as a woman of color, much like myself. She was not represented in the movement, but that was all the more reason for her to use her voice and educate others, inspiring someone like me to raise my voice as well.
Someone I greatly admire from the women's suffrage movement is Lucy Stone. She was revolutionary in countless ways to the women's and abolition movements, things that continue today. I feel a connection to her in my own life because of all of the changes she spearheaded. It was her last words to her daughter that moved me. She said, "Make the world better." This has been a constant motto in our home, and my children strive to embrace it in everything they do. I strongly believe in votes for women.
Votes for women.